Now that you have set up the professional document map in the form of folders or empty buckets, it's time to fill them up with the actual documents. If you have not created your map, I suggest you go through the lecture for creating professional document and do the simple exercise of creating a map in your subject because you will need it in this lecture. In this lecture, we will learn several skills, including how to use a scheme of work template to make a scheme of work in your subject, and you will do this from scratch. We will also learn how to save files correctly so that you can easily access the file when you need to use it. And lastly, we will also learn an important skill that will enable us to use a Word document with hundreds of pages without having to scroll through the whole document in order to find what we need. I'm very excited to teach you these skills because it is one of the most important steps in making your teaching job more enjoyable. So hello and welcome to this lecture. My name is Kagwe Monroe. Just in case you're viewing this video for the first time, a brief introduction is in order. I'm a high school teacher and I'm very passionate about using ICT to teach my students. I have ventured deeply into this area and wish to share my experiences with like-minded teachers so that they too can experience this. So let's jump right into it. As you already know, the scheme of work is a very important document for the teacher. It helps to map out the subject for the whole year or the complete 4-year course. Teachers are required to prepare a scheme of work every year. Sometimes this seems tedious because in one way or another, it is repetitive. Teachers are well-meaning people and most of them like to do their work as professionally as possible. With introduction of ICT in schools, the scheme of work and other professional documents can be prepared fast, updated, and easily revised without having to put the teacher into too much paperwork. If you're viewing this document as a school principal, you might want a staff that is very efficient when it comes to preparation of professional documents so that they can have enough time to deal with the certain core functions that may be the pillar of the school academic performance. It is a win-win situation because in one way, you have all your teachers' professional documents in order as required by the employer, and on the other hand, you are confident of better performance as a result of your teachers apportioning a large part of their time in actual planning of the lesson and teaching the same. For instance, all that a teacher needs to do is write the scheme of work carefully for the first year. This is where real work is required. Once it is complete, the schemes for the subsequent years are really easy to make. All that a teacher needs to do is to make necessary changes to reflect any new information in the syllabus or additions of whatever kind, then save the document under a new name. All this is done without having to rewrite the whole document. This is the beauty of the whole thing. So in order to assist you to get started easily, I thought of coming up with a template which will help teachers in every subject at secondary school level to deal with the scheme of work more efficiently. Once you learn what I'm just about to teach you, you will never need to purchase this document from street vendors, as it happens from time to time in nearly all the schools. In designing this template, I put into consideration the need for the teacher to prepare a scheme of work from scratch and update it, and finally, the ease of accessing what one needs from the scheme of work. As we all know, the scheme of work is the first professional document that a teacher is required to prepare. It has 9 columns. Each column has a heading. The headings found in a scheme of work will include the week, the lesson, topic, subtopic, objectives, teaching learning activities, teaching learning resources, references, and remarks. The number of columns is very large for a standard A4 size paper, so this template allocates a single page for each week. This does not in any way change the format of the scheme of work. What it has done is to increase the width of each column for more writing space. Consequently, this template has tables with 8 columns. The first column, which is the week column, is actually given a page of its own. So each week is allocated a page of its own. Now let's look at some of the features of this template. This scheme of work has a navigation at the left-hand side of the document. If you're using Office 2010, like I am, you will access this navigation as follows. On the menu bar, click View. On the group of tabs named Show, check the navigation pane box. This one here. If you do that, the navigation pane appears on the left-hand side of the document, like this. This is the navigation pane. The beautiful thing about the navigation pane is that it allows you to go to any heading or subheading in your document. This is particularly useful if you're dealing with a document that has a large number of pages. For instance, this document has 182 pages. This is a very large number of pages for us to find a particular page by scrolling. It is more like the content page in a textbook. This will save you time in accessing what you need. Imagine a book without a content page. You will be required to scroll through every page in order to find what you are looking for. So the first thing you will want to do when you open a document is to check if it has a navigation pane. Well-prepared documents usually do. There are 4 main headings in this template. Each corresponds to a scheme of work for a given form. For example, this heading here is Form 1 Scheme of Work. The next one is Form 2 Scheme of Work, Form 3, and Form 4 Scheme of Work. If you click on this arrow here, the heading will expand, revealing some headings within that heading. For example, in Form 1 Scheme of Work, we have divided it into 3 subheadings: Term 1, Term 2, and Term 3. If you click it again, it will collapse, hiding the subheadings. This is a very important feature of this template, and I will recommend that you use it every time you're using this template to make your own scheme of work. It will make your work very, very easy. Like I have pointed out, the scheme of work template is very easy to use. This template can be used for any subject, provided your subject requires you to have 9 columns. It does not matter the number of lessons per week. The template I'm using in this lecture has 4 lessons in a week for Form 1 and 2. For example, this is Form 1 template. If I go to Term 1, Week 1, you'll be able to see that there are 4 lessons in a given week. When we go to Form 2, maybe Term 1, and let's go to the weeks, maybe Week 1, or even Week 2, or Week 3, you notice something. Each time I click a week here, it appears here, Week 1. If I click to Week 2, if I click Week 3, Week 3 appears there. If I click Week 13, Week 13 appears here. This is a very beautiful thing because it allows you to go to any section of the document at will, even if the document has got very many pages. So like we can see, any week in Form 2 has 4 lessons. But if we go to Form 3 here, and maybe Term 1, maybe Week 3, you can see it has 5 lessons in a week. So the template I'm using in this lecture has 4 lessons in a week for Form 1 and Form 2, and 5 lessons in a week for Form 3 and Form 4. This is the case with all SANS subjects. If your subject has a different number of lessons per week, I have provided you with a template for that subject. So you do not need to worry about that aspect. Just download the template for your subject and you're set to go. Now let's see how you can customize this template in your subject. So let's collapse all these subheadings so that you can go to the main heading of the document, which is found in this space here. So if I click here, it takes me now to the front page of the document. Now the first thing you will do is that you will want to go to the header over here and enter the name of your school and make sure that this one is uppercase. So as soon as you double click this section here, it prompts you to enter certain information. So here we are being prompted to enter the name of the school and it should be in uppercase. So let's do just that. So I'm going to enter the name of my school, and my school is Upper Hill Mixed Secondary School, and that's done. That information will appear on every page of this document because it is a header, and we can easily check by going to any of the pages, maybe week 4, and when you look at the header, it has the name of my school. Like I told you, this is the beauty of this document, because if you download it and enter the name of your school, you will only need to enter the name of your school once in this space, and that name will appear on every page of that document. So you'll have customized it to be a document that can be used comfortably in your school. The next type of information you might want to enter is the subject that you're dealing with, because you're making the scheme of work for a particular subject. And again here, I will enter my subject. I teach physics, so that will be the information that I'm going to enter in this space there. And it's done. Next, I'm going to enter the year that I'm preparing this scheme of work for. And this is 2016. That is next year. We are in 2015 right now, so I will use this document in 2016. And of course, I'd like to enter the name of the teacher and the teacher who prepared this document, and that is perfectly all right if I enter my name over there, and it's done. The document now is ready to be used. You have entered the subject, the year, and the person who prepared that particular document. The next thing is to start filling up the columns in the scheme. Let's go to, maybe let's assume we are starting with Form 1 over here. For you to do this, first of all, you need to divide the number of topics that you have in Form 1 to fit in the 3 terms, because you will teach a certain number of topics in Term 1, Term 2, and Term 3. In order to do this, you will require the syllabus. The syllabus is the next document that I want you to have. Luckily enough, you can access the syllabus from this website, icttrainingforteachers.com. If you go to that website, and I believe that is where you are right now as you are watching this video, you will just need to go to the relevant tab and it will take you to the syllabus of your subject, and you can straight away go to the Form 1 topics and subdivide the topics the way you want. For example, in physics, I will go straight to the syllabus. So let's do that. And here I have the physics syllabus. So this document has 57 pages. So like before, in order to access what I need easily, I'll go to the menu, click View. On the navigation pane, I will check that box and the navigation appears here, and neat navigation, and I'll go to the physics syllabus. For now, I don't need to look at the KCSE questions per topic. This is another document that we'll look at another day. I'm interested in looking at the physics syllabus. And in the physics syllabus, we've got Form 1 physics syllabus, Form 2, Form 3, and Form 4. I'm interested in looking at Form 1 physics syllabus. And I find that in Form 1, I'm supposed to teach 10 topics. So I can choose to teach the first 3, which is Introduction to Physics, Measurement, and Force in the first term. So these are the topics that I'm going to have in this page. So I'm going to have Introduction to Physics, Measurement, and Force. So let us enter that information in the relevant spaces on our scheme of work. So on this page, which is actually Form 1 scheme of work, the first topic will be Introduction to Physics. So you can type that. If you press enter, number 2 just appears automatically. And I'm going to enter Measurement, Part 1, and the next one is Force. You can go over to Form 2 here. Let's enter the bullets. And I want to continue numbering from above there. You've seen what I've done. Let's repeat that. I can have restart numbering, whereby I can start numbering these topics right from number 1, or I can continue the numbering from the previous point, where I just need to click that and it goes to the 4th topic and everything is done. So do not ignore this simple information which usually pop up somewhere. You can learn, you can teach yourself a lot of things by following instructions just on the computer. I have had a number of teachers having problem with this. They want to continue numbering from here, but most of them are stuck. They don't see they don't pay close attention to this pop-up window here. If it does not pop up, then right click, and then you will see, just right click on whatever has come here, and you will be able to see, do I need to continue numbering, or do I need to set a number value? What do I need to do? Or do I want to start numbering at 1? What is it that I want to do? So for us, we have chosen to continue the numbering process. The other thing that you want to learn is, you've seen that I've typed this information in this space. This may not be necessary if you have that document in your computer. For instance, the 4th topic happens to be pressure. All that I need to do is just come here, select pressure, and then copy that. Then I go to my document. I go back to my document, put my cursor there, left click, and I'm given the option of pasting that. I can paste it in such a way that I keep the source formatting, or I can just use text only. That is what I want, because I want to format that document from this particular point. Or I can even merge the formatting. That is the formatting of the previous document and this one. I do not want this document to be very complicated, so I'll just keep text only and click that. And the pressure just comes there. The next topic is the 5th topic. Again, I go to the previous document, which is the syllabus, and I have the 5th topic is particulate nature of matter. I will copy that. Another way to copy information once you have selected it on the document is to press Ctrl+C on your computer, Ctrl+C. But if you're using the mouse, you can just left click and you just copy. And you're done. So let's go back to the document, and I'm going to paste this information again here. I left click and paste that. It's really quick. If you have both documents on the computer, sometimes you can just select, copy, and paste. It becomes a very easy process of preparing new document instead of typing. And this one is particularly so if you are not so good in typing. So in term 2, I might choose to teach 4 topics because term 2 is rather long compared to term 1. As a matter of fact, teachers usually start teaching in the 5th or the 6th week, so that term really becomes very short, and most teachers will go as far as measurement 1. They don't touch 4. It's advisable to have fewer topics in term 1 and more topics in term 2. Similarly, term 3, the term is usually again short, so you might want to have just 3 topics here. So you concentrate most of the topics in term 2. So let's go ahead and add the 7th topic, which is heat transfer. And here we have the topic, heat transfer. And you can see what I'm doing when I want to access a different file which is already opened on my computer. All I need to do is go to the taskbar here, and the files that are opened are all over this bar here. Over here, this is the syllabus. This is the scheme of work template that I'm working on. If I want to see the 8th topic, I'll just come here and go to the navigation there. If I click it, it will be the first topic that appears here. And then I just need to select, copy again, go back to my document here and enter the tab, press enter, put my cursor there, press enter, and the cursor moves to this position. That tells me that whatever I'm going to write down here is not bulleted. So I've got to go to home, where I've got these bullets, and I want to use numbering. Again, I click numbering. It prompts me to either continue numbering or start numbering, and I want to continue with the 8th one over there. And the 8th one is this one here, rectilinear propagation of light and reflection at plane surfaces. Now here I've not done the pasting well, so I'll go here and change that. The ninth topic is electrostatics 1. So I copy that, come back, paste it here, and the last topic is electrostatics, is cells and simple circuits. Over here, I copy that, and finally I paste it here. And that's done. This is usually recommended by most schools. In fact, it is a good way of showing, as a whole in Form 1, where are you in your topic coverage? Maybe you may be in term 2. Instead of looking at the whole of the scheme and trying to trace where you are, you can use this first page here to list the number of topics that you'll be teaching in term 1, term 2, and term 3. So really easy navigation, some form of a navigation within the document itself. Now you want to go to term 1, and maybe in the first week, you want to start now putting the information, the topic that you're going to start teaching, the subtopic, objectives, teaching, learning, activities, and so on. The only column that you will not deal with at the moment is the remark, because the remarks column is supposed to be filled in when you have actually taught that particular lesson. So we will not deal with the remark column. We will only point out that this column is supposed to be filled in once you have taught the lesson. So let's go right ahead and update the various columns. The other thing that I'd like to point out here before we update these is because since the teaching for Form 1, Term 1 starts usually around the 5th week, you might want to leave out week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4 because the actual teaching starts in week 5. So let's go straight to week 5 or week 6, and we enter our first information. So over here, the first topic is Introduction to Physics. We can go back to the syllabus, check Introduction to Physics. You can see now the syllabus is quite handy in completing the various columns in the scheme of work. So I'll put my cursor there and again paste that topic, Introduction to Physics. When it comes to the subtopics, again the syllabus gives me this information because you just want to list the subtopics which are there in the syllabus. So this is Physics as a Science. Come over here. Again I put a cursor there and paste that information, and that information directly comes there. You might want to do some editing, like for example, I might want to remove those numbers so that I just have a simple subtopic. Even when it comes to the objectives, you get the objectives from the syllabus. Although sometimes the objectives in the syllabus may be very wide, like for example, explain what the subject of physics involves. Actually here, we are trying to look at the definition of physics. So we might want to change this one a little bit and say define physics as the first objective. But you might want to make sure that the objectives that are appearing in the scheme of work, they're the same objectives that are given in the syllabus. That is why the syllabus is there. So over here, I have my first topic, which is Introduction to Physics. The subtopic is Physics as a Science. And then the objective is that by the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to explain what the study of physics involves. I will go ahead and enter the teaching learning activities that I want the students to be engaged in. Maybe it is a demonstration, maybe it is a class discussion, and then the resources that I might be using, let's say, maybe a wall chart that I have drawn in my computer in conjunction with maybe a data projector. When it comes to the reference section, I would simply go to the textbook, that particular topic, Introduction to Physics, and I'm using the KLB textbook, Pupils Book 1, and the page is, this is page 1. That is where I get in this type of information, Physics as a Science. So everything really becomes very easy once you have all the information in your computer, including the references. As time goes by, I'll be able to provide you with the various PDFs that you can also put in your computer, so that each and every time you want to make reference, everything is in your computer. For instance, over here, Physics as a Science, we'll be talking about the meaning of physics, and it is found in KLB Book 1, page 1. So I go and enter that information in the relevant column in my scheme of work. Remember, it is after I have entered this information here. Maybe let's say, for the sake of this video, let's just say we are going to engage the students in a class discussion. Okay, class discussion, and the teaching learning resources that I might need, maybe a flow chart. A flow chart that I've drawn on my computer, and in conjunction with that, I might need to use a data projector in order to project these on the screen. This is we will learn how to use data projectors in the subsequent lessons. So references, I'm using the KLB, so we enter the author first, semicolon there. Therefore, the secondary physics, and it is students book 1, then semicolon, and then I'll say page 1, and that's done. If I feel that I want to use another textbook, I'll just need to name this and say 1. This is the first textbook that I use, the title of the textbook, and then the page. You all know these details. But remember, initially, the making of the scheme of work will appear a little bit tedious, but you only do this once. Like we have said, in the subsequent years, all you will need to do is just change a few information here and there to fit the requirements of the syllabus, make various changes, and you are done. You'll just need to save the new document under a new name, and everything will be okay. So, like we said, the remarks column, we don't deal with it now. We'll deal with it when we come to making use of the scheme of work. That is how you enter the information in various columns. So remember, you need, let's say, the syllabus. That one is very, very important. The other thing that you need is that you might need your resources, especially the reference text, in soft copy, so that all you'll do is just quickly check within the same document and everything will be done. Now let's see the next step, because we now want to save these changes. It's important to know where you want to save this file. And that is why I recommended that you first of all create the professional document organization map, so that you know exactly where you're going to save this document, which is scheme of work. So let's see how you do that. So we'll go to File, click File, and on that drop-down menu, you will see Save As. You will click that, and a suggested name for that document will appear here. Professional Document Organization Map. I will want to rename this because I want to retain the previous copy, which has not been edited at all, a blank one. So I'll say Professional Document Organization Map, complete name for the scheme of work. Scheme of work 2016. This is what we said, renaming. The moment I give it a new name, remember we went to Save As, and then we are presented with this dialog box, and then from there we are able to give it a new name. Always give it a new name, because you don't want to interfere with the previous document. So the format of the document is Word document here, and now you want to know where you had saved the professional document organization map. For me, I had saved it in My Documents, so I'll proceed to My Documents. Let's see whether I can locate it from here. When I click My Document, I have a number of folders. So I'll scroll down to where I have the professional document organization map that I had created. I double click it. I belong to the science department there, and the subject that I have created the scheme of work for is physics, and that particular professional document is scheme of work. I'll double click that, and you can see that that folder, which is scheme of work physics, is empty. On this bar here, you can be able to work backwards. You can be able to see how you have moved. So this document, Professional Document Organization Map, is in My Documents. And over there, I've got several departments. I chose the science department, which has 3 subjects. Now, when it comes to physics, I had created 4 folders, each one for a particular professional document. For example, the syllabus that I'm now using is in this folder. But I do not want to click here, because if I click here, I'll be able to see I've got the physics syllabus 2016. This is not what I want. I want to open a folder where I can put all my schemes, and that is the second one. So I click that one and I have the scheme of work. Now you can see it is empty, and it is there that I want to press save, and that document goes straight to the right place. So knowing the format of the document that you want to save, and then where you want to save it, and then naming it appropriately is important. So we have seen how we fill in the columns, also how we make use of the syllabus. We have also seen how we save changes correctly in the correct places so that we can be able to make use of that document when we want to. Now I want to show you a quicker method of accessing this particular document. You can see that for me to access the scheme of work, I had to go to my documents and then look for it inside there. I want to create a shortcut for that document, and we do it as follows. So we locate where that document is. It is in my documents over here, and it is professional document organization map. Just select it, left click, and you will see this drop down menu here. Send it to. I want to send it to the desktop so that I can create a shortcut on my desktop. And it's just as simple as that. Left click, drop down menu, send to, and then you click desktop. So let's minimize this and see what has happened. And on the desktop, I have professional document organization map. So if I want to access my scheme of work or any other professional document, I just need to open this folder here, which is on my desktop. I go to the science department, physics, and scheme of work. And here I've got my scheme of work for 2016. It's just as simple as that. Now, in the next lesson, we will make use of this scheme of work and other resources to create a lesson plan. Do not miss this lecture, as you will love the magic of using ICT to teach. This is where real magic starts. For now, go right ahead and download the scheme of work template in your subject and start working on it. Review the lecture if you need to, just to make sure that you are doing the right thing. In fact, I would recommend that after downloading the scheme of work template, replay the video, this time pausing as you carry out the steps. You also need a current copy of the syllabus, which is provided on this website. That's just about it for this lecture. See you in the next lecture.